Welcome to the ET197 how-to video on PLC Timers 2 Part A. Okay, so let's open up our Do More Designer and close. And we're going to go to File. We're going to do a new project, and it's going to be online. And we're going to go down to My Sim. And we're in terminal mode. Good. So there's another program in there. Let's set the clock and we're going to erase him. Okay. So PLC. Let's go down to clear PLC memory. Clear. Switch to program mode. Set our clock again. Let's get some of our things out of the way. Alright, now we're ready to start our Timer 2 project. Okay, so first off let's get into the edit mode so we get our side information on over here. And first thing we're going to start with is a trailing edge one shot. And we have one over here in our contacts, and we have one down here in our bottom menu. So we're going to call that X1, and we're going to call that PB space timer space 1. So we're going to write, select, check mark. Okay, so a one shot, a leading edge one shot, is when we push that button, that contact is going to close and then reopen after one clock cycle of the PLC. So once this runs through its program, it's going to reset. Okay, it's only good for 1 sec, so it's good for a very short one shot high in order to trigger some things. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add a timer here. So let's go do a standard timer. And we got a timer. Let's call it T1. And let's do 4 seconds. And since we're here, let's go ahead. Okay, doesn't like me to change the name there. So we're going to go in here and do it with our magnifying glass. I'm going to call this timer plain old timer 1. Write detail, select, check mark, good. And we're going to add a contact under this timer, and we're going to go out and we're going to use a C0 internal bit. And I discovered something interesting. We now have up wire, down wire, and horizontal wire built under our contact. So we could utilize our shift arrows, or we can go ahead and use this. So good. So now I have a contact which is going to parallel our out timer. So let's go ahead. I'm going to put a close contact in, and I'm going to utilize T1 period done. Okay, so I'm going to utilize this close contact to reset this timer once it times out. Let's go ahead and put in another ceiling contact around our quick one shot. Alrighty, and let's just go ahead and use our C0 to drive in a light. So let's do a Y1. And I'm going to call that T1 space reset space capital IND. And that means T1 reset indicator. Right, select, check. Alrighty, so let's accept. Let's save as. And I'm going to call this 2C. And then let's write it to the PLC. We're going to save the project to disk. And let's go to our simulator. We're in terminal, Good. We need to be in status. Good. And we need to go from program to run. Good. So now we should be able to test this. Let's find out. Alrighty, so I'm going to shrink this up so we can see both lines. There we go. And I'm going to do a very quick X1, which is going to do our one shot through our close contact, starting our timer. Our timer is going to start counting, and once it gets to 4 seconds, it's going to reset this done. And this is going to continue run is because when this is on, we have a C out, which is going to seal around our timer. Or excuse me, our one shot. So let's go ahead and do a quick X1. And you see I1's on, it's counting down. Let's watch X1 of Y1, and it's good. Let's do it again. Alrighty, so we have a direct path through our timer. Gets to 4 seconds, it resets, and it's done. Okay, let's do a new function here. So we're going to go to coil, and we're going to do push on, push off. And it's going to be P on, P off. So let's go ahead and put over our contact. Okay, so we're going to use both of these. So we're going to show you reset too. So we'll make that C1 and C3. And that's good enough. Good. So we're going to use X2. And we could use our edge triggers too, but let's just go ahead and use a regular switch. X2. And let's call it SW2. Right, select, okay, good. And let's take our C1 when we have it over there, and let's go ahead and turn on the light. And we're going to call that Y2. Our outputs again are Y, inputs are X, C's are internal relays. So let's go ahead and we're going to call this guy P on indicator. We'll put a space there, I-N-D. There we go. Right, select. Okay, so let's go ahead and take another output of our reset. So we're going to use X3. So we're going to reset this thing externally. And I'm going to call that P on, P off. P on, space, P off. Reset. P on, P off, rate's good. Right, select, check mark. And we're going to do C3 here, so we're going to use that internal bit. Okay, so let's make this, shrink this up a little bit where you can see it. There we go. And accept, save, right. Save it to disk. We're going to make sure it's in run. Status is on. We have our simulator. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and what we're going to do and just demonstrate that P on, P off. So if I push it on, okay, so you see that it's going on and off. Every time I push it on, it changes state. And every time that it's on, we're going to get a Y2 out. So let's turn it off. Okay, so let's turn it on. Turn that one off, and let's go reset it with an X3. So we could externally reset that switch to off by using another relay which shuts it off. So this would be good for an emergency off kind of situation.